Welcome to Reaper Life, Episode 5. In this episode, we do Iron Mines Part 1 and 2 in Sorrowdusk on Reaper 8 Skulls. This is our first episode of doing an 8 Skull video. With me today, we're going to do something different for the intro. I got Nimbin. Say hi to all your fans, Nimbin.
Hi, Nimbin.
You're your only fan?
Yo, besides my computer fan.
So, Nimbin, what do you think of the series so far?
I think it's great. I like it because, usually your videos are very tutorial, but this one has a bit of a sitcom taste to it because of the contrary personalities like you and Syx, and we got Sweet Little Mama and Jimmy, he likes to say that he's wacky, but I feel like he brings the normal guy aspect to it. And then we got the vocal queen. She's amazing, Ina Morada. She's basically the internet of DDO. You can ask her anything, and I adore everyone in this crew.
Yeah, the viewers probably don't know that Ina is like a DDO, a walking DDO encyclopedia. She's absolutely ridiculous. You know, in our Sunday Shrouds, we do trivia just for fun, just to pass the time in part 1, because part 1's so boring and Legendary Shroud beating down the portals. And I do DDO trivia, like I said, just for fun. And Ina is like, I can't even get the question done. And Ina's like, it's Kobold, Sorrowdusk, whatever the answer is. She's just like on top of it. Like, I can't even finish the last word of the question. She's right there. She's a walking DDO encyclopedia.
Yeah. But, don't send her tells with your questions. That might bombard her too hard.
So, Meister, you were one of the biggest cheerleaders to do this series. I mean, we were all pretty excited to do it, but I think you and me were probably the most excited, and you were the biggest cheerleader to make it happen.
Well, yeah, if you remember, the idea came from you and I spitting ideas for series, because I noticed that you have one of the biggest followings of the third-party YouTuber channels for DDO. And we were talking about how a lot of people were doing low-level Reapers. People were focusing on heroic XP rather than Reaper XP. And I figured, since a lot of people watch your content, that we should do a Reaper Life. Oh, you should do a Reaper Life series. And then it grew into a group project, which I adored the idea.
Talk about why you had some specific interests about why you were interested in doing this series, and I mentioned them in the intro, but I want to hear it in your own words.
Well, to be super specific, I've been playing this game for like a year less than you, right? You came in 2009, I came in 2010. We know a lot of Titan players. We're talking about people who are dedicated to this game, triple completionists, have all their iconics, ETRs, and they're doing Reaper 1s, maybe Reaper 3s, and that's kind of sad considering that most of these people can probably solo Reaper 3. They just don't have the confidence. They kind of get timid, especially considering that each time you go into a Reaper quest, it's different. Like, you can go into the same Reaper quest, and one will not have any Reapers. One will have 6 Reapers in the beginning. So I figured that this series would help destroy the mysticism behind Reaper schools being too hard. And, it's nice that we're already players like Fire Goddess, you, and a few others that were doing higher Reaper schools. But I feel like a lot of the Titan players that we used to play with should be able to step up. They have all these past lives that are not being utilized and all this game experience. And I feel like me coming back in the game after almost 3 years, beginning this with no Reaper XP 3 lives ago, I was still doing Reaper 5s with you when I first came and joined your somewhat static group. I would catch a quest here and there doing my lives. And I grew in like 3.5 lives of doing serious high school Reapers, 23 points. I'm 23 points in now. and that's only 3 lives. And there's people who did several lives and are barely scraping 20, and that's ridiculous. That's a some people may not have the time for it, but if you're a dedicated Titan player, you take 20 more minutes in a quest, and you'll have really amazing stuff. In a way, this is like a Reaper completionist, when the fact that some of these core abilities affect you outside of the Reaper.
That mysticism
So if
that
you want
you talked about, and that actually you and I talked about quite a bit, but that you mentioned here, is something that I felt when Reaper mode first came out. I thought, working up to these higher skulls, I thought like higher skulls, like there would be no way we could complete these without using like complete cheese methods. But I have been so impressed with how we've done, and we've accomplished high skull Reaper quests in this series with like straight on, like not hiding on bookshelves and jumping on ledges. Like we've just beasted them, and it's been really awesome. And we're poised, next life to do some R10s. I don't think we're going to capture any R10s in this series, but and this will be the first time the viewers hear this. But my goal, which I stated at the outset, was to hopefully capture a couple of R9 videos. We actually have 4 R9 completions already captured, and we're only up to level 15. So we might even have more R9s. And like I said, while there won't be any R10s, we're poised to, some of those R9s we thought weren't bad. And so I know that like next life we're going to try some of those quests on R10. A question I just got on the channel was, what do you, so I want your response to this. What do you feel about, a newer player, like trying out R1s and 2s?
I believe, because like I said, I did I did like five lives since I got, 5 lives since I got back. It helped doing that life and a half before I start to do like Reaper 1s and 2s, just to get that initial 8 points. Because without those, you won't have HP. The biggest thing that I've seen doing these higher Reapers is having people who are aware of other people's HP and having PRR and HP and MRR. That's something that's really helping.
But would you recommend that a newer player try like Reaper mode on like R1 and 2?
Yeah, well, a few. There's some out there that are ridiculously easy. Like there's certain quests where there's only a few mobs and not that many difficulty. Like you have to know your quest. Like for instance, Madstone. The mobs hit hard. That's just their ogre ways. Like they're just naturally hard hitting mobs. If you're a new player, if you're new to Reaper, if you have no points, you probably shouldn't do that right off the bat in R4 and up. If you don't have the HP and the PRR and the dedicated awareness of heals, you probably should do that in R1. But certain quests like where you're fighting kobolds and you have your vorpal weapons and your decent CC, go ahead and bump it up to R5, R6. I have some bank alts that I jump on for friends. We do R5s and up, and it's not really a big deal.
Man, I don't know if I'd recommend a new player try R5 and 6, but that's some pretty hard hitting content to a new player. But you said something that I agree with, that you feel it's important to know the content first, and I just generally speaking, I totally I feel like a newer player should learn the content. It doesn't mean you don't do Reaper mode at all, but it's definitely a good idea to be to learn the content and focus on normal, hard, or elite, or whatever you're comfortable with. But that's another important point, is that if you're comfortable doing R1s and R2s, and you're having fun, if you're just dead all the time, that's going to be no fun, and it can be very discouraging. But if you're comfortable with it, if you're having fun, especially if you're with a group that doesn't mind having a newer player that's willing to explain how the content works, and doesn't mind maybe that you die a little bit more than the rest of the people, getting with a more experienced group can be a great way for a newer player to learn these quests and to get acclimated to Reaper mode. And you also mentioned Vorpal too. This video is a great example of how valuable Vorpal is in heroic Reaper questing. I think it's part 2, of the video, when we first get to the bridge where all the force traps are, there are 4 ogres and 2 of them are champs, and right away I remember thinking, oh, this is with the 2 champs there, this is going to get ugly, and then just the Vorpals mow them down, and it turns a situation where, like, if we didn't have Vorpals, it turns a situation that might have been really scary into nothing. I mean, like we always say, Vorpal don't
Yeah.
care. They were gone. They just disappeared because they were Vorpaled.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, know your mobs, know your reapers, know your champs, and know your mobs, because there's certain casters that don't cast as hard as other casters. Like, for instance, like an undead wraith and bloody crypt, he's gonna hit hard with them light spells. But like a kobold shaman, he's gonna hit hard with those light spells. Get your shield clickies, get your spell absorptions, get your vorpals, get CC, heal other people. You guys should be fine.
CC played a valuable role in this video as well. We're starting to get more spells at this point. We're level 6, so mobs are getting commanded, which is a huge help. So you can, and I feel like in this video we're starting to come into our own, and this is actually the first video of the series where I didn't tell you guys that I was recording, which is evident right away in that everybody's talking about what they had for dinner that day, because you guys had no idea I was recording. And so from this point on, you guys weren't aware of it, because like I said at the beginning, when I told you guys I was recording, it just changed the dynamic. It changed the way everybody was acting, because everybody was sort of a little bit preoccupied with the fact that they were being watched. But I really wanted to capture a more real, genuine experience. And
Yeah.
I don't want to run this intro too long, so Meister, thank you, or Nimvin. Meister is his other tune that I know him by more when I first met him, so I call him Meister all the time. You'll hear me say that in the series. I want to thank you for being part of this intro. This is something we just thought of today, and maybe we'll have Little Mama and Sykes and the others in some of the other intros. So let's get to the quest. All right, here comes R8 Iron Mines Part 1 and 2.
I spit hot fire.
French toast with peach sauce.
I did breakfast for dinner today too. Biscuits and gravy.
I am not repeating that because I know someone sitting about 15 feet away from me who is going to want that, and I don't have money for that.
I know this was freaky ass weird shit. Because I had eggs and bacon for lunch. That's Gary. I feel like a loser. I'm getting barbecue. Actually, I had dinner again.
Okay, let's do it.
I'll be always back here healing you guys.
There are no shrines in this, guys.
Reaper? No, I'm just kidding.
There is a Reaper up there. There's a Carney.
Yeah, Carney.
Focus on that Carney. Everybody down the hatch. No, it does not. Mushroom inside. This bridge gets tricky, so don't rush it.
Named.
Okay, Diana.
It's easy if you look sideways and jump. I think so, you can tell. It's easier to tell where you're at.
These are disableable, right? Once you get to the other side.
Yeah. Or you can just jump over the side of the bridge.
No, I'll just wait. It's one of those instant deaths, just like the one in Syndrome.
Okay, we got 2 Earth Ellies, and that's it.
Can you warp them?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, welcome to the 1-point damp per hit.
Nice. Alright.
You had a chance.
The 630 Reaper XP in 4 minutes. That's why we do it.
Yeah, I opened it. We've already completed it. We've already completed it.
I don't care. Do it now.
I want that chest.
Oh no.
Hey, through the door.
was up. So
Right through the damn door.
Okay. Maybe
It says it can't be picked.
we just skip it.
You probably have to pick it before you finish it, Chris. 'Cause
No,
can't pick
I think that I can unlock it with this key.
do it.
Do it.
Yeah, it's unlocked. Go get him, Syax. Nice.
Warple, don't care.
That's right. Warple don't care. You're just gonna have to res out Mama. There's no shrine in here.
R10?
No, alright, it'll be fine. This one's a lot longer than the last one.
I see a champion.
Famine Reaper. Focus on the famine. Nice. need to go left here in part 2. We got 2 champs.
Both of them are both of them.
Vorpal don't care. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Okay. Oh,
I'm coming to get the trap.
If Vina dies, you have to do resist for this trap.
Champ.
Token.
Is it possible to use Achka and Justice with brother?
I don't think so. I think those are like 9.
Achka or Justice?
there it is.
Shaman and a champ. Get the shaman first. I'm dotted. Shaman's dead. Good job. Thank you for the heals.
Guys, going past the floor.
Oh, look, they were both shamans. Shit. We could just go straight here. What'd you do? Use a cake?
Jitters and Lesser Blood.
Oh. Fear Reaper.
I think Lesser Blood's only like the level 4 now.
Thank you for the heals. I think we can hit these guys from the bottom. Yep. There's a champ too. shaman at the top of the ladder. I think we can clear these out now, but not later, or something like that. Been using summons a little bit more, just in regular quests, because they just are so good at drawing the aggro of mobs, and mobs will sit there and keep attacking them after the summon's dead. Lever is locked. Here we go. Trolls. If I remember correctly, the regenerate on these guys is pretty serious. Warple don't care though.
Not if it's awful. Not if it's awful, and that's just being killed with fire. And I bring the heat.
Hell yeah, good job guys. Nine minutes for 811 Reaper XP.
Worth it. We did have a slight delay with the trap compared to normal, so yeah.